It's your girl T here, back with another TTime Tuesday video. I hope y'all are having a beautiful, blessed day, because we're tea timers. It's absolutely what we do. Our affirmation of the day is, why did everything go right? Why did everything go right? We're tea timers, so why is everything constantly going right for us? I wanted to jump into a video about challenging yourself in this process. Really challenging yourself to, take your days, the meat of your days, and really challenge yourself to do things differently than you've ever done them before. A lot of us are waking up, as Joe Dispenza says, on the same side of the bed, having the same coffee, going to work the same way, talking about the same things. Why are we not challenging ourselves to a different way of going towards our day to see different results? And manifestation is not an action-based exercise. It's about changing your beliefs and working on the up here. But when I say challenge yourself, I mean in terms of our internal dialect and a lot of the things that we are doing. So what I see typically from a lot of people is you are asking limiting questions over and over and expecting to have positive results. Why is my manifestation not coming? What am I doing wrong? Why can everybody else have it except for me? These are all accurate statements if you buy into them and you believe them. As I've said previously, nothing has meaning until you assign it such. So if our focus is on finding why it works for other people, or why manifestation is so hard, or coming from a place of victim, coming from a place of how can the world do me like this but everybody else is easy for, then we have assigned that meaning to it. We've assigned the meaning that it works for everybody else, not for us, and this is going to be a hard process. If we were to challenge ourselves in this moment, could we take the opposite or the opposing questions? What if this is the easiest thing I've ever done? What if I do things differently and it works out in a completely different way? What if today's the easiest day of my life? What if everything just works for me? What if I'm the one who gets everything right and everybody else gets everything wrong? These are typical questions when you were in the previous mindset that you wouldn't ask yourself. What if you were just asking the opposing questions to everything you usually ask yourself? What would happen? I don't know if y'all have seen Seinfeld. It's an older show, so for some of you who are really young, you might not have ever seen an episode, but there's this one episode where one of the characters named George, he loses his job, and when he goes and starts talking to women, he does the opposite of what he usually does. He starts telling them everything. I live with my mom, I have no job, I have no money to offer you, but I'd love to go out with you. And he starts getting yeses from every single woman he sees, and he realizes that he's going to do the opposite of everything he usually does and see what happens, and his life starts improving. It's hilarious the way it unfolds in the show, but it's not to say it doesn't mirror real life. If we want different results and we're doing things exactly the same way that we used to do, then is that going to get us the results that we want? Again, I'm not saying manifestation is an action. It's not an action-centered activity. I'm saying, can we think in the opposite direction to see different results? This is very much so what we want to do. And when we are taking manifestation at the root, everything is neutral, meaning nothing has meaning, from the smallest things on the planet to the largest things, until it gets one. Our language, the way that we see the world, time, even time, is a man-made construct. So when we're following these rules and regulations that are made for us by everyone around us, by the world around us, the 3D reality is under the spell of a man-made construct. So everything around us can be shifted and shaped eloquently according to what our belief systems are, which again, we concrete between 0 to 7, 8-ish years old, from what we see, what we experience, what meanings we assign to things. But the beautiful part of this is that we get to say what the narrative is and what the narrative is not. We get to reshape our beliefs and reshape the way we see the world. This is what people call the work. That is figuring out what our core beliefs are by watching things that happen in our 3D reality. Oh, I see this circumstance keep popping up. What can I learn from this? Oh, I feel like I'm not good enough. Changing the root belief of I'm not good enough. Stuff keeps popping up again, surrounding money, let's say. Every time I spend money or circulate money, a bill pops up. This is another belief system. Okay, well, does this mean that I feel like my money is always absorbed as soon as I get more of it? Oh, does it mean that I feel like I can't make more money or I can't hold on to money? Oh, that's just a false narrative. I'm going to go in and tell myself, I always make money. Money is easy for me. I always have more to circulate than I do going out, etc., etc. This is the work, the challenge of doing what we need to do to reprogram our mind. And when y'all are carrying around a story, we all have these stories. Oh, it happens for them. It doesn't happen for me. I'm the most unluckiest person in the world. I hear that all the time when people are like, do you want to enter my draw? Oh, I'm super unlucky. I'll never win. That's a story. That's a story. Do you ever see people who go and they win millions and millions of dollars in lotteries and they always win competitions, da-da-da? At what point in their life did they win a couple draws and they were like, I'm the luckiest person in the world? And they started walking around telling themselves, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I always win everything. I always win everything. When we see things a couple times in our reality, we usually start buying into the meaning that we assign it. Like when something consistently happens 2 times, 3 times in a row, we're like, oh, that means I'm this. Our brain is set up to solve problems, to catch patterns, to assign meanings to things. So when we see repetitiveness in our 3D reality, we assume that that's the way it goes. We assume that's the meaning that it's assigned to. We assume that this is the way it's always going to go because we love predicting things. So when we are predicting things in our future, why don't we predict things in an opposite way of what we usually predict? Oh, how's things going today? How do you think work's going to be? Oh, it's always the worst. Oh, this always happens. That always happens. Stop saying that. Start predicting that it's going to be the most fabulous day ever. Things are going to work out for you. You're going to make 10 times more money than you made yesterday. You're going to get a promotion that you weren't expecting. Your boss is going to tell you that you did the best job on earth ever. And I'm not sitting here from my ivory tower saying it's the easiest thing to do. I myself have had so many times where I've fallen into a story and I have to correct myself and be like, that is not the story. For example, yesterday when I was driving home from work, I clipped a pole. Yes, my car has some paint falling off and I usually don't get into accidents with my car, but it happens. C'est la vie. It's going to get fixed in a week. And when I was talking to the rep on the phone for my insurance company, he's like, you know what? At least you're healthy whole and it was just a cosmetic thing on your car and you can walk away from this accident. He's like, I've heard lots of people that have had damage happen to them as a person, and that's a harder thing to come back from. And he just spun it for me in a way where it's like, yeah, I walk out healthy and whole. I walk out without any injury. My car can get fixed, no big deal. I could revise that accident, but I don't care that much. I have insurance. But it's like everything is frameable in the way that you assign meaning to it. You can look at something and see it as half empty, or you can look at it and see it as half full. We have to change the way that we are grilling ourselves, talking to ourselves, telling stories to ourselves, looking at things, what beliefs we hold, what we're assigning meaning to. It would be better for y'all if you went through your day and were neutral to everything or nonchalant towards everything rather than constantly assigning these negative meanings to things. Oh, that means this. Oh, that means this is going to happen. Oh, that means that this bad thing's going to happen. It happens all throughout the day. I hear people doing it all day long. Oh, you got one. Wait for the other shoe to drop. Like, these things are not serving us. They're not helping us. These stories and these negative advantages that we're assigning to everything are not helping us. So I challenge you to challenge yourself. When you're tempted to throw out your old story or throw out some negative question to yourself, change it around and ask yourself, what would happen if that worked out for me? What would it look like if that actually did go my way? When you're about to say, well, what if this doesn't work? What if you said to yourself, well, what if this works? Well, what if this really works? What if I get what I want? What if this actually goes my way? What if this is actually what I was looking for? If you reframe your questions to yourself for a straight week and change them into, what if they do go my way? What if this does work for me? Isn't this wonderful? Within a week, you would see change. Within a week, if you auto-corrected every single negative thing you were about to say to a slightly more positive twist, you would see changes in your life within a week. I promise you. So I want to challenge you today to challenge yourself to not give in to yourself, to jump back into that addictive cycle, which I'm very familiar with, of wanting to play victim, wanting to feel like your reality is crapping on you, wanting to feel like everything doesn't work out for you, of changing the narrative that you have for your life as to what if this does work out for me? What if this does go my way? What if things do work out effortlessly? What if my life was perfect? What does that look like? What if everything good only flows to me? What if I'm allergic to negative things? Asking yourself questions like that instead of those old things and spending it on idle gossip, idle negative stories, idle questioning of yourself that doesn't lead to anything positive. If you took all that time and put it into the things that are serving you, do it for 1 week and come back to me and say your life hasn't changed in some positive direction. I want to end the video here, but I wanted to throw that challenge out to all of y'all. If any of you have any questions, you know what to do. I love y'all, but not as much as you should be loving yourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed Tuesday. Bye.